glad, for your reward is great in heaven. Dear brethren, today the church remembers the witness of Ugandan martyrs who gave their life to Christ. I believe we are all more or less familiar with the background of the martyrs of Uganda, Charles Lwanga and companions. If you are not, I will take you through a little bit. But don't tell me later that I preached too long. So they were 22 Catholics, as their names are appearing on the memorial statue there, over there. Maybe you have seen, we will see also. Charles Lwanga, the leader of the group, was 25 years, while Kizito, the youngest, was only 13 years. But there were also other 23 Anglican martyrs. All of them together, they were how many? 45 martyrs. These men, or these martyrs, met their death at the hands of a ruthless Buganda king. So it was around the year 1885 to 1886 when Christianity was just coming to Uganda by the early missionaries, the White Fathers. King Mutesa, at that time, welcomed Christian missionaries and even allowed people who were working in his kingdom to convert to Christianity. After his death, his son Kabaka Mwanga succeeded him. This King Mwanga despised Christian religion. Then that is when trouble began. He gave order that all Christians serving in his kingdom be laid upon a mat, bound, placed onto a pyre, and bent. We know how they died, how they were bent down. So this took place at a place called Namugongo, outside Kampala, in 1886, where the shrine is kept, whereby the memorial or the feast of these martyrs used to be celebrated. Probably today there is something, but the national event in Uganda has been postponed due to the Ebola outbreak. But maybe some of you were there, some of you might visit the place. This place is a beautiful place. So King Mwanga then, because of his hatred toward Christianity, forced Christians to renounce their faith, compelling even some young males into some sexual, or rather some immoral sexual acts. Charles Lwanga and the companions rejected such immoral sexual acts and refused to give up their faith. So they stood firm not to betray their faith. They stood firm not to betray their moral purity. Hence, they were then subjected to torture, decapitation, and burning, burned alive. Now remember that Charles Lwanga was a catechist, and he was the leader of others. He was the one handing over faith to others, and he even baptized some others, especially the catechumens during the time of danger. Tertullian, an African influential Catholic theologian, said the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. Very good. In Namibia, in the context of the freedom or liberation struggle, there is a similar saying that the blood of the heroes waters what? Waters our freedom. So always whenever we hear this, it reminds us of this Tertullian wise saying that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. So this means then that the sufferings and death of martyrs make Christianity grow even deeper and further. So dear friends, blood is something sacred, because we are speaking about the blood that has been shed here. Blood is something sacred. I would like us maybe to reflect a little bit on the significance of blood, maybe traditionally and also in general. I know you, according to your cultures, according to your term clans, you know that that blood is used or has been used for cleansing, cleaning people from bad luck or misfortunes, or even from illnesses, certain illnesses. So for such blood, the blood of the sheep or of a goat or of a cow has to be shed, because then it is believed to bring about cleansing, bringing about fortune or good luck. So therefore, blood symbolizes life. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, says Leviticus. Therefore, any shedding of the blood, any shedding of any blood unjustly, is a serious offense before God the Creator. God said to Cain, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground," which means that justice has to be served for any blood that is being shed unjustly. So blood signifies also family bond, ties. Kill one person, you affect the whole family. Hence the adage, blood is thicker than what? It's thicker than water. Blood is also used to seal covenants, or for sacrifices, or to bring about reconciliation. So in the Mass, we are going to hear Jesus during the consecration prayer. "This is my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins," pointing out to the significance of blood in relation to what? To reconciliation. So the king now, by killing the martyrs, actually thought he was eliminating Christianity. But it spread even further instead, as if it was a blessing in disguise. That is why, for example, in Uganda, where this incident took place, faith is very strong. Not to mention the Catholic faith, it has a very strong and a deep foundation. So history has proven that when one kills a Christian, Christianity increases. It is just like, for example, maybe an analogy I can use, it's just like killing a bee. I saw there are bees there that planted there. If you kill one bee, the rest will come, because it releases a kind of an alarm that alert the others to come so that they can defend each other, and then that means one will be in trouble. Another analogy I can apply to this one, which is very common, especially in the kitchens. The ladies will agree with me on this one, I think. When you have some cockroaches in the kitchen and then you kill one, then the next day you see 5. So you continue to kill, they will also continue to multiply. The more you kill one, the more they multiply. It is the same with Christianity. The more one tries to suffocate it, the more it increases as per the teaching and the wisdom of Tertullian. So, my dear friends, many Christians still suffer, especially today, in the world where truth is being suffocated, is being hidden, where purity tainted or is being tainted, justice being corrupted, and faithfulness betrayed. So persecution can actually happen to you and me if it did not happen already. So Jesus warns his disciples that faith brings trials, rejection, and suffering, yet promises salvation to those who endure to the end. So therefore, we need to have courage so that we may stand firm in faith. A faith that is unshakable, a faith that is unyielding, a faith that is firmly rooted in God. We need to be resolute in faith in God despite trials. So the martyrs then show us that faith is not only spoken by lips, but proven in courage of one's life. Faith is to be witnessed by action, by our life. Talking alone is not enough. And as we know, what is the saying again? Action speaks louder than it. Action speaks louder than word. So the martyrs have shown us that example. So the first reading from the second Maccabees help us to understand the kind of courage that we need so that we may be able to stand firm in faith. The young Jewish brothers and their mother opted for God than earthly life by refusing to partake of unlawful swine's flesh. Swine flesh is the flesh of the pig, isn't it? It was prohibited that time, according to the Jewish law. It was prohibited to eat swine's flesh, because then you transgress the law and you commit sin. Hence, it was really relevant that time. But today, we are chopping pork left, right, and center. Of course, Jesus came and perfected that law in the New Testament, that impurity is not caused by anything that comes from outside entering us, but it is that which comes from within us going outside that makes us impure. So this Maccabean said, we are ready to die than to transgress the law of our fathers. So an episode almost similar to that of the Ugandan matters. So, my dear brothers and sisters, it's not easy to take that kind of decision. It is good, we are very comfortable to hear that the Ugandan matters that way, to hear that these Maccabeans died that way, but if you were to be implicated into this particular situation, it is not easy. For example, if someone were just to come in here and ask us that I will kill all of you because of coming to worship here, or because of believing in God, because of Christianity, I don't think anybody will remain in Christianity. So we'll all try to squeeze ourselves into that door. Probably the priest leading. It is not easy. People are fearing death. Life is so sweet, we fear death. Life is so sweet. I want to refresh your memory. During the time of COVID, they were talking about hantavirus from South Africa through one ship, whatever, people were already free. Thank God that story died, it stopped. Maybe it has been eradicated. But during the time of COVID, for example, those of you who had COVID, you saw how people treated you. Some of you were treated even worse than dogs. Because people are, I'm very sorry, not that I'm trying to be derogatory. I have seen it myself. Yeah, not here, somewhere. Not in this country. So, the people are fearing to come closer to you, are fearing to be in contact with you. Even to bring food to you like this. So, it's like they are forced. And they don't want to hear any story about you. If there is anything they want to hear about you, the next day is that you are dead. So that they can say, thank God, we are free, so we will no longer be bothered. Because people are more concerned about their lives than the life of the person who is affected by COVID. So there is a story of a guy called Wilson, who was also fearing death, and he was trying to outsmart death. So this Wilson was then met by Mr. Death. So Mr. Death came to Wilson telling him that, my friend, I have come for you now, and I will not leave you. He said, what do you mean? So today, if it's your day, you are now going to die. And then Wilson said, but I'm not ready. Mr. Death said, here the list. So here is the list, and your name is number 1. It's on top of this list. So therefore, there's nothing you can do. There's no excuse. You are going to die today. So Wilson tried to get a plan. He said, okay, sit down, wait a moment. So he prepared the coffee so that Mr. Death can also take some coffee, and then prepared the coffee for himself, also for Mr. Death, and then he made sure he put some sleeping tablet in the coffee of Mr. Death. So that is what he did. He gave coffee to Mr. Death. Mr. Death enjoyed his coffee and immediately fell into a deep sleep. So Wilson then said, let me do one thing. He took Mr. Death's list, removed his name from the top, and then put it at the bottom. A little later, Mr. Death woke up, and then he said, oh, Wilson, I'm very happy. Thank you for hospitality. So it has been nice. So I enjoyed the coffee. So now, because you have been very good to me, I will continue with my job. But now I will start from the bottom. Wilson put his name at the bottom, so he could not outsmart death. So we need just to be ready if death comes, because we are told we should not be afraid for those who only destroy the body but cannot destroy the soul. So the Maccabees, like the martyrs of Uganda, opted for fidelity to God rather than death. Not suffering, not persecution, not even death is what the letter to the Romans tells us. So the Ugandans or martyrs lived that reality, and we need also to be anchored in Christ, because on our own we cannot achieve anything. But we have also to love Christ. We have to love Christ. It should be the point of attraction, the center of our life. Just like the psalmist said, like the deer that yearns for the running stream, so my soul is running, is longing for you, my God. So without that, we will not be able to give up our life, we will not be ready to sacrifice our life as these martyrs did. Now, the Beatitudes in the Gospel also confirm the same truth. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Dear friends, Beatitudes are not just theories, but they are to be lived, and the martyrs lived them, have shown us an example. And in conclusion, I want to address myself to the students, the seminarians, and pre-novices. You are very blessed to be in an institute which has St. Charles Lwanga as its patron saint. So you need to model yourself in the formation in all the 4 pillars according to the life of St. Charles Lwanga. I would like just to ask a question. What characteristic did you so far draw from the life of St. Charles Lwanga? Is it courage? Is it loyalty to Christ? Is it fidelity? Is it truth, justice, purity? You know that purity is very important. The reason why you people are shining, it is because of that purity. Disturb that, go to Havana, there you look like a nobody. Is it purity? Is it obedience? What is it that you draw from the life of St. Charles Lwanga, who is the patron? Get one element. And I would like to emphasize something on obedience, especially obedience, because obedience is one that helps us to be formed. You see a block, this building is built with the blocks, what you call it, blocks or bricks. And these bricks were made with a brick making machine. Whenever you are making the bricks, you mix the concrete, sand, water, cement, and other things, and then you mix it nicely, you put it in those forms of the machine, and then you have to compress it nicely. compress it. And then after that, when it will be lifted up, that brick comes out in a very beautiful format. So this is how your formation goes. If you want to come out beautifully like that nice brick, allow that formation to go through you. And this is very much possible now through obedience. Obedience, St. Charles Lwanga had as a virtue. Whenever you are told you have this weakness, work on it, act immediately upon it, and change. Because there are some people who told today, no change it, tomorrow a person not change it, tomorrow again they change the person. Times is not that the person is not changing. Do we call now that a mistake? So someone said, a mistake repeated more than once is no longer a mistake, but it's a what? A choice. Later on it becomes a habit. That is what a wise man, Paulo Coelho, said. A mistake repeated more than once is no longer a mistake, but it is what? An intentional decision. Yeah, and then one wise man talk about two types of mistakes. The genuine mistake, and another one is the two. You know it, the stupid mistake. A genuine mistake is an accidental one, unintentional. It's understandable. A stupid mistake, it is this repeated one here. It's no longer a mistake, it's something else. So therefore, if we want really to change, let's model ourselves to the life of St. Charles Lwanga. I want to address myself also to the religious and the lay people who are here, because many times whenever I attend masses of this time, only seminarians who are being hammered to, as if they are the only one in this church. I have a small message for you. Dear people of God, these matters of God, they were not priests. No ordained minister was here, but they were just ordinary lay people like you. They were not even brothers and sisters. So, which means what they did, you too can do. Evangelizing, catechizing, handing on faith, baptizing, of course, whenever it is warranted, you can also do it. And they don't say, no, we are not paid, we cannot do this work, or Father so and so is not there, so we are not going to do it. No, you can also do it. And by the way, as they became saints, you too can become a saint. You can't say Father Wilhelm is not yet a saint, I cannot be a saint. No, you can overtake me and become a saint. So, and then lastly, support these young men. They are very vulnerable. They are very much in need, far from their families. They need any support in kind or even in this. And then you, whenever you are given something, say thank you. Say thank you. A sense of gratitude is very important. You don't say thank you, the people will be discouraged to give, and they will lose trust in whoever is delivering anything. It's a question of accountability and transparency. So therefore, to all of us, my dear brothers and sisters, we are called to daily martyrdom, resisting sin and staying faithful in prayer. So therefore, may we remain steadfast witnesses through truth, purity, courage, forgiveness, and fidelity till the end. And may St. Charles Lwanga and the companions intercede for you, young people, student information, and for all of us. Amen.